Faith here with your welcome toast. It was Samuel Butler who said, "The hen is the egg's way of producing another egg."
I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops.
It's great to have you joining the party on the Faith Middleton Food Schmooze, inviting you to eat, drink, and be merry with us. What a show this is going to be. Avocado Heaven is here. It exists in Brooklyn, where three guys from Italy who love food opened the world's first avocado bar. It's called Avocaderia, and so is their cookbook. It is a huge hit. There are lines down the sidewalk. We have all these recipes to talk with you about. They're on our website, too. Sure, there's avocado toast, but there's also an avocado burger, panko-crusted avocado slices, and avocado blueberry pancakes made with brown sugar, coconut milk, aged rum, glazed with fresh ginger syrup. We have 3 recipes from the book on our site, and that's not all. We have a new delicious boxed wine and a story about, it's a white wine for the season coming, and a story about how Stonington, Connecticut farmer Craig Floyd gave up his farm store. He did this. I can't believe it because the products were so good. He gave it up to help feed people who are hungry. It's just going to blow your mind what he's doing. My beloved food buddies are here. Chris Prosperi, Alex Province from KJZZ in Phoenix, and senior producer Robin Doyen-Aiken. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Faith.
Hey, Faith.
Hello.
Listen, we're going to go avocado crazy in a minute, but I want to introduce our guests on the show. We have 2 people who actually, in support of the Connecticut Children's Hospital, bought chairs to sit in and watch the show as it proceeds. And we just appreciate that they did that so much. It's Letha Kunkel and her daughter Laura Kunkel of Avon, Connecticut, and they're sitting in the chairs watching all this action. And we love to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faith. We're happy to be here.
Chris, you're my avocado buddy. Alex,
Love
we're
them.
all,
Hey, love
Robin, we are nuts about avocados.
Keep them on the counter at home and at work.
There are foods in the world where, of course, there are people who say, I don't want them, I'm not going near them. There's something about avocado.
Creamy.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say, I hate an avocado.
Can't.
No.
What's the hate?
I would eat one every day if I had a ripe one around.
I do eat one every day.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
There is a place in New York City, in Brooklyn. It's called Avocaderia. It's really pretty much become an overnight success. It is an avocado bar. It is avocado all the time. There are
Just
lines
avocados.
down the sidewalk. And, of course, we know that avocado is a beautiful food, and some would say a superfood. We're not going to get into the science of that, but it really is.
It's yummy.
And so if you have creativity about what to do with avocado as they do at the bar and in this cookbook called Avocaderia, after their place, this is, kind of the idea being ideas for a happier, healthier life. And since I have avocado every single day, I'm just a happy
Need new
person.
recipes.
Okay. So 3 authors on this book, Alessandro Bigi, Francesco Brachetti, our guest, and Alberto Gramini. Francesco, welcome to the Food Schmooze Party.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Where are you from in Italy?
I'm from a small town near Florence. It's called Prato.
Yes. Lucky. I'm glad you're here. How did you get the idea to do an avocado bar, Avocaderia, as you call it? Where did that idea come from?
So it all started when I was living in Mexico. And before moving to New York in 2016, I spent almost 4 years in Mexico City. And of course, as you might guess, avocado is not a very Italian product. So it's not something that is, it's not a big element in the Mediterranean diet. But when I moved to Mexico, avocado was kind of bread for us. It's one of the staple elements. They eat avocados for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day.
I know, a bread.
It's something that I fell in love with since day one. Because on one hand, it is such a filling food. is a fatty fruit, so it makes you feel satiated, very fat. But on the other hand, it's a very healthy food. So it has this kind of unique combination of properties that it's very hard to get with food in general, because usually what you like the most is what is the most unhealthy for you, and vice versa.
Well, that's what we like to say. So, Francesco,
kind of magic.
do you think that avocado, there are some people who are afraid that avocado, it is considered a quote-unquote healthy fat, the way nuts are. Some people are afraid that avocado will make them fat. Do you think so?
Well, I've been on pretty much 1.5 avocado a day diet for the past 2 years, and I lost 8 pounds. So
Living proof.
I'm the proof that that doesn't affect your weight, because it's only good healthy fat. So it's something that is, for example, suitable for a person with prediabetes syndrome, and it's really the quality of the fat that makes all the process and all the nutrients good for your body. So it's definitely not something that will make you fat. It's a food that can be eaten every day, and many doctors and studies now show the real benefits of eating avocado so often.
Ah, Francesco, we are exactly the same. I, too, have avocado every day, except for the part about the 8 pounds. Exactly the same. Okay, so let's start to get into the recipes that we have on the website, thanks to your generosity, foodschmooze.org. And the first one is, you might ask yourself, how is it possible to make a burger and make it feel substantial the way a burger does?
Yeah,
and
how?
yet they make at their Avocaderia in Brooklyn, they make an Avo burger.
I'm blown away by that. What exactly is it?
Well, let's go through the ingredients very quickly. So you've got the avocados that are pitted and peeled. You've got yogurt with fresh herbs. You've got arugula, smoked salmon, a watermelon radish, which is that gorgeous radish. If you don't have those, you'll get just a regular radish. A lime citronette dressing. Now we see where this is going. Olive oil, and you think, really? Olive oil on top of the avocado oil that's naturally in it? And maybe some black sesame seeds on top for sprinkling. Tell me how it is that this works, this Avo burger.
So the idea behind Avo burger was for us we took one of the most iconic dish of New York and I think America in general, which is regular bun burger. And we kind of approached this, finding a way to make that dish much healthier and to make it as tasty as a burger. So the first thing that we decided to do is, can we replace the bun, which is usually like very sugary and high content of that type of fat. We are going to use the avocado instead of the bread to make the bun. So the way we start the Avo burger is that we cut an avocado, we remove the skin, we remove the pits, and we use the lower half as the bottom side of the bun.
Wow.
Then, that's pretty much how it looks when it's done. Instead of mayonnaise, we use a Greek yogurt infused with herbs to enhance the flavors, and that's our healthy version of mayonnaise. Instead of the meat, we put smoked salmon locks, which is a substitute for that protein. And New Yorkers are in love with smoked salmon.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's something that we have seen.
This is
Another
so
good fact.
smart, because when you look at the photograph of this, you'll see it at our site, foodschmooze.org. When you look at this picture and you've got the top half of the peeled avocado and the bottom half, it looks exactly like a burger. And plus, they sprinkle the black sesame seeds on
So
it.
it looks like it's got the
And
seeds
so
on
it
top
looks
of the
like it's
Kaiser
got
roll.
the sesame. And I
But
think to
you're
myself,
eating it with fork and knife, though, right?
yes, it's a fork and knife kind of thing. Unless you're messy, the way I am. So
Not
so
me.
you do. I love this, and the citronette dressing is a beautiful. You'll see our recipe for that citronette dressing too. So Wow, love that. Okay, so we're talking with Francesco Brachetti, and he is co-author with his compatriots of Avocaderia. They are each from Italy. They've opened this avocado bar, the first in the world, in Brooklyn, New York. So go there. Okay, let's do... I love texture in food. I pay attention to this because I think it makes food much more delicious. The mouth, the brain, everything, you just love it. So this was smart. When I think about avocados, I think, how do I do this? And they have done it. They're going to crust an avocado wedge with panko crumbs. Wow. So this is panko crusted avocado wedges. We have this on our site too. Oh, there's a dipping sauce and there are the wedges. The dipping sauce consists of a little cornstarch. That's always present to thicken something. Some tangerine juice. I suppose if you didn't have tangerines around at the time, you could use a fresh orange. And then rice vinegar or apple cider vinegar, a little sugar, Aleppo pepper. You can get that anywhere. Sriracha. Everywhere you can get it. And then the zest of either the tangerine or the orange. That's going to make your dipping sauce for your wedges. But remember, they're going to be crispy. I love that. Okay, Francesco. Alex is with us from Arizona. He's in avocado land.
Yeah.
They're probably just all over the ground on his property. So,
yeah, this is again something that we decided to do to make a healthier version, pretty much, of French fries. And when you look at the final dish, it actually reminds you of these large, thick, and cut French fries. So that's the feeling that we want to give our customers when they try it. And it's a very simple dish, and you don't need a lot of ingredients to make it, and the preparation is very easy. You cut the avocado in half, or from each peeled half you get 3 wedges. So each avocado will give you 6 wedges. You bread it, and you just put it in the oven. So it's a very easy preparation. It's going to give you a very crusty, crunchy avocado on the outside, and it stays creamy and soft in the inside. So I think that's something very interesting, and it's a different way to use the product in a creative way, because usually avocado is served cold, but this is a very good option to serve your avocado crispy and crunchy.
There was a chef, he is still there, he's in France. He would go out into nature and search for things that had an amazing flavor if you put them with something else. So this man would go out to the forest in the countryside in France and grab pine needles off a pine tree. And then he would come back and he'd use those pine needles in a dish to flavor something. And it makes me think of how always people have played with foods that we no longer have around and will continue to do so. So I think about Ferran Adrià, the famous Spanish guy who started doing all this kind of wild chemical stuff. The reason I give that little talk is to say that there is in this cookbook an Avo, which is short for avocado, an Avo chocolate mousse. Now think about these two textures matching together, where you have that sort of richness of the avocado itself and the ingredients that would make a chocolate mousse. But there's also in here a puffed quinoa for sprinkling on the top, because clearly this trio of Italians knows that texture is everything, that there's a sense of a substantial quality that is given to people from multiple textures. So, Francesco, tell me about this.
You're perfectly right. In every dish that we do, we like to try to find the perfect balance within textures and flavors. And we think that every dish needs to have the right amount of crunchiness to be enjoyable. So to make the base, we decided to do either almond milk or coconut milk to keep it dairy-free.
Almond milk or coconut milk. So this is dairy-free for people who need that. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. It's a vegan chocolate mousse. So the avocado this time is more adding value on the texture side than on the flavor, because the predominant flavor is still the chocolate. You can definitely feel the kick of the avocado, but the real contribution in this dish is the texture, and it's going to make it much creamier than a regular chocolate.
And there's orange zest in here. So the book is called Avocaderia. It is the same name as the Avocado Bar, the first in the world, in Brooklyn, New York. Everything in here is an avocado recipe. These three men who did this are from Italy and are running the entire operation, have now decided to do a cookbook. And I think every vegan in New York and beyond must be going to this place to get this mousse. And we have it, we're lucky we have it on the site. So if you're vegan, or if you just think, sure, I'd like to cut back on the cream and stuff, have a look, foodschmooze.org.
Francesco, are you doing a gelato?
Let me jump in and say, because we're out of time, my dear friend. So, yes, he's got avocado ice pops in here, of course. So it's Avocaderia, and our guest has been Francesco Brachetti, and he and his friends have done this book, and they have the Avocado Bar in Brooklyn, in New York. Thank you, Francesco.
Thank you.
And just ahead, since Avocaderia is a single-theme restaurant, we're going to explore that a little bit. What are the other single-theme restaurants around the country and around the world? More mouth-watering conversation and fun ahead on the Faith Middleton Food Schmooze. I hope you will make a charitable contribution to feed the hungry. That will be important as the show goes on. You will see about that. We're online now at foodschmooze.org, and we'll be right back.
You can put it on toast, put it on your salad, any way you want. You can have it, you can get it on the side. Put it in your sandwich, you can mix it up any way you want to have it. Avocado, 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 avocado. Yeah, and you know what's up. Avocado, 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 avocado. Yeah, and you know what's up. Avocado, 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 avocado. Yeah, and you know what's up. Avocado, 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 avocado. Yeah, and you know what's up. Hold up. Hold up. You can
Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread had a fight. Beans knocked cornbread out of sight. Cornbread said, now that's all right. Meet me on the corner tomorrow night. I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow night. I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow night. I'll be ready. I'll be ready tomorrow night. That's what Beans said to cornbread.
I'm Faith Middleton. You can sign up for our free podcast, meaning a copy of the show, and it arrives in your inbox every week. You just sign up once at foodschmooze.org, and there you go. Look for the Faith Middleton podcast. Okay, I'm with my treasured food buddies, Chris Prosperi, chef and co-owner of Metro Beast Restaurant in Simsbury, Connecticut, winebroker Alex Province, who is at KJZZ in Phoenix, Arizona. Mark Raymond is away this time. He'll be back next time. We have two special guests who are sitting and observing the show in process. That's Letha Kunkel and her daughter, Laura Kunkel of Avon, Connecticut. Thanks for being with us. Okay, Avocaderia represents a single-theme restaurant where everything is about the avocado. I was walking down the street in New York, everybody, and this is years ago, and I looked up, and there was a restaurant. It was tiny, and it said grilled cheese. That was the name, and that's all that's all they sold. Which is
Can I get a menu, please?
This is a fantastic thing to sell. So I thought, wow. Then I was in the village and I saw a place, a risotteria. So it was risotto.
And that's all they sold.
And that's all they sold
cool.
in there.
Yeah.
Let's kind of cruise through some of these single theme restaurants. But Chris, because you have a restaurant, do the economics work for something like this?
It can work great. And I've got one in Waterbury I've been going to for so many years. And when I tell you what it is, you'll be like,
Is
oh my
it pizza?
God. No. But it's a single – but that's what I'm trying to get at. That's a single-themed restaurant.
Yeah.
Pizza is. No, it's Blackies. And it's hot dogs.
But no, are you telling me no French fries?
But they only sell hot dogs, right?
Actually, that's in Cheshire, though.
Okay, it's in Cheshire. I said the Waterbury
hometown.
area. Yeah, Waterbury area. Yeah. But
It's right on the line.
Yeah, but that's a single-theme restaurant, so we've had them around forever.
You can sell a couple of side dishes.
Yeah, of course.
That's qualified.
Yes, and I'm sure you can get potato chips on the side.
Okay, well, so there's a place in New York City that I used to wander by all the time, and it's called Meatball, and that's all they sell. Every kind of meatballs.
Chicken, fish,
imaginable.
salmon, duck.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
Yeah.
One time I was in Nice, in France. I was walking along the boardwalk, and all of a sudden I came upon a restaurant, and I thought, okay, someone revive me because I have to faint dead away. And it was truffles, and that's all they sold.
Everything was truffles.
Every single dish. Truffles.
Wow.
Now, does that qualify, though?
Oh, yeah.
And so, it was about $1 million
yeah,
for
I'll
every
give it a
dish.
qualification,
So
Alex.
I did go in and order something. What I could afford at the time was,
The French fries.
So I did sort of a truffle-y thing. And the French people sitting next to us looked over at us, and we were staring at their plates. And so they handed us spoons and said, here, try this. Try this. I mean,
Okay, let me pull up a chair.
So anyway, there you go. There's an entire truffle restaurant. My version of heaven. Go ahead.
I have one from the 70s, if some people are out there that can remember this one. And it was the first restaurant my older brother worked in when he was like 16. And it was in the city. It was called Le Crêpe. And all they did was crepes, right? Does anyone remember that? That was
I don't.
Oh my gosh, we loved it. And they had dessert ones and savory ones.
Nutella.
And, yeah, of course.
Was Nutella invented back then?
Uh-huh.
In New York, there is a place called Smack. S-M-A-G, and all they do is macaroni and cheese.
my
Gotcha.
favorite.
Missed that one.
Undisputed king of mac and cheese.
Yeah. What about in Spain? They just do pulpo, like octopus.
Sure.
They grill it and they have the huge copper pots, and they're famous. It's served on a wooden board. It's sliced. They add a little olive oil and paprika and salt, and you just eat it with a toothpick. But that's all they do. Special, and it's the best pulpo you'll ever have.
Wow. So in New York, there's another place called Rice to Riches.
Yeah, I like that one. I've heard of that one.
And
What is that?
That's a cool name.
This
all
is
rice.
like a pudding heaven. From savory to sweet rice of every kind of thing.
Dumplings.
Yes.
Like dumplings.
And those have been around for a long time too, right? Chinese restaurants that just serve dumplings. Those have been around
dumpling
forever.
shops.
Yeah.
We could easily find things that have been around for a long, long time. You arguably could say that in the old days, when it was just donuts, Dunkin' Donuts was one of these single-theme places.
Yeah.
And there are still some other places, but usually they morph into, to sustain the business, a few other things.
Someone took me to one in LA called PBJ.
Yeah, that one's on the list of
Did
famous.
that make the list?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. And I'm not a big fan,
Peanut
but
butter
they're
and
just
jelly?
like, you have to
Yes.
go to this. I'm like, what is it? Oh, we're not telling you. And you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a peanut butter and
love
jelly
that too.
sandwich.
And a big glass of milk.
So one of the advantages of these groups of immigrants coming from various countries in the world is that they see that people might like, or they're particularly good at making a single dish, and they say, I found this little spot in the shopping mall. I'm going to try this. And they open up a restaurant that serves just that thing. And so we start to see from different immigrant communities these dishes. So in Texas, there is a place in Houston called Bun Bo Hue Duk Chung. So the dish is called Bun Bo Hue. And for anybody who hasn't tried this is pig knuckles with noodles and lemongrass and fermented shrimp sauce. That's some people's heads are going, no. I think it sounds delicious.
I bet it tastes better than it sounds
Yeah.
maybe for
Oh,
some
I
people.
bet it's a knockout. I'm telling you, I bet it's a knockout. Okay, so There is a place in Dallas, Texas, different part of Texas, called Cereality.
Oh, very
and
cool.
of course,
All
they
cereal.
serve is cereal.
Oh
was
my
e-
gosh,
that was
that's
an
like
easy
kid
one.
heaven.
Yeah, right? You can take your kids there
sounds
for
like
breakfast,
college.
lunch, or dinner.
It's like freshman year of college. You're just eating all the cereal you can.
So in London, we were talking about grilled cheese in New York. In London, there's a place called the Melt Room. And
What is that?
This is grilled cheese done in a frying pan in all these innovative ways. There is remember the fish and chips? Fish and chips restaurants would be on occasion in New York, but basically running around London and Scotland, and often it would be a truck in your neighborhood at night.
That's all they serve was
That's
So-
wrapped in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yes.
The malt vinegar.
So could we say that food trucks basically are that?
Could be. Some of them that just serve one thing. Yeah, why not?
Remember the food truck it's doing only French?
Yeah.
Then there was
There's a grilled cheese truck right here in New Haven.
From my online search, I learned that this whole trend started, some say started in London around like 2013 and 14, and it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and like all good things, just spread out throughout the world.
you mean the single theme restaurant?
Yeah, that kind of started with grilled cheeses, and then it exploded into other things, meatballs, like Chris was
see
saying,
those.
the PB&Js, but some of those PB&Js are pretty fancy. It's not just
yeah.
like regular peanut butter and raspberry jelly.
No,
It's
it
like,
starts there and then
yeah,
goes up from there.
There's Chianti jelly and just all kinds of wonderful. It's the PB&J of your adult dreams, so not like for kids. I've seen places that are just French fries. That's it. Just every French fry style and flavor that you can possibly think of, with all kinds of things poured on top.
Do you remember I think it was Nancy Silverton's daughter who did the porchetta shop.
That's
it
still
was
open, right?
you could touch the left wall and
Yeah.
the right wall. If you extended your arms, there were 5 stools, and you would just go in there
And
and
have
eat
porchetta.
her porchetta
And
sandwich.
that's all she served.
It is
To
and was
die for.
unbelievable.
You know what this reminds me of is going to like a county fair, and then you walk up and down, and you see
you're the
some guy
one
just
item
doing
in
like
that, yeah.
waffle French fries.
You
or,
get good at it when you make
churros
one
or
thing.
something.
Of course, we know there are fried chicken places that just have fried chicken.
good.
So there's Blue Ribbon Fried Chicken in the East Village. Great, great place. There is this thing called the Nugget Spot, and it's all chicken nuggets
Another
Nice.
kid
See,
favorite.
I do
with
that
dipping
one.
various dipping sauces.
yeah.
And
Count
that's
me in
no
on
different
that.
than dumplings, really.
It's amazing how many of these places are really good for kids, since a lot of times kids eat one thing. So,
It's designed for them.
yeah, exactly.
And for indecisive people like me, there's no like,
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to have.
You're having chicken nuggets. That's what you're going to have.
There's a place in Edison, New Jersey called, I think it's a potato place, Potatopia. I don't know how you say it. It's hard. I guess this New Jersey fanatic started doing
Potatopia.
potatoes with different sauces and cooking the potatoes different ways, and it's just wall-to-wall potatoes.
What would be yours? Your singles restaurant. And we already did avocado, so you can't take that one again.
I've always wanted to do this. You
Yeah.
know how you can't
Yeah.
sleep at night?
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. I'm thinking about what is my food truck going to be? So, there is no short answer to that question. I have about 50 ideas. I've got it, and I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, trademarked. You know what mine has always been? Going back, it's the hot dog. Isn't that funny? For all I cook and all the food I make, I've always wanted a hot dog place.
Grilled,
and take
boiled,
it
or how do
way
you
up.
like
No,
them?
I mean, take it way up.
What does that mean?
Like do
What would that look
foie
like?
gras on hot dogs and do like every kind of hot dog. Start with the simplest plain hot dog on a
Do you
bun.
want to say this?
Yes.
Wow.
Why?
That's a genius idea.
I love hot dogs.
That's geniusidal.
I love hot dogs. And there's always the regular hot dogs you can get anywhere, but no one's ever taken hot dogs to different places. Why not have like a salmon hot dog?
I don't know.
Right? I'm telling
Would it be
you.
good?
I think it could be. We have salmon sausages. Anything you can do a sausage, you can do. Anyway, that's my dream one day. That's my retirement job. I'm going to open a hot dog joint. You can come see me. It'll be a little shack
Come
somewhere.
see you. I'm going to be slinging hash with you.
We're all going to be working
mean?
there with you.
I'll be working
What's
there.
your uniform look like?
Yeah. No,
Are there
definitely
health-
old
give me
50
health benefits.
Health
Are there health
benefits. Yeah, it'll be like the 50s style, right? We'll have the little hats. Yep.
Funniest thing.
I'm going to do a paella one. Imagine that.
See, that would be great. And all you come in, right? The paella, you just make one at a time. When it's done, you get another one ready. It's the perfect, right? It's at that perfect time to eat it, and that's all you serve is paella.
Alex, you spend 2/3 of your time in Arizona now because your husband is there. I would suggest that if you're going to do a paella truck, you do it there. Because, sure, it would be geniucidal here, but doing it in Arizona, people would be in line for miles, I think.
Would I get to drive the truck, too?
Oh, yeah. Yes. But just don't pick a 1940s truck because they don't go very fast. That's the problem. Hey, we want to invite you, if you know of or would like to see invented a single theme restaurant or truck or whatever it is, we want to hear from you on Facebook. That's Faith Middleton Food Schmooze on Facebook. Let's just start the conversation. We're spreading that out, not just among ourselves, but we want to include you in this conversation and see what you have to say. Okay. Wine discovery, it's wine in a box, and it's fantastic. I can't wait. We love the local. Please support your local food growers and food makers. For an on-demand podcast delivery of the Food Schmooze Party, go to foodschmooze.org, and we'll be right back.
I need some bread, then cheese, then bread. That's all I need. That's how I feed. Grilled cheese. I need some bread, then cheese, then bread. That's all I need. That's how I feed. Grilled cheese. Grill it up. Yeah, grill it up till it's golden brown. I need a cheesy, toasty snack, yes, going down. Soup on the side, dunk it in, make a sandwich drown. Guy Fieri every day, take you to Flavor Town. Flavor Town. Take you to Flavor Town.
White wine, she's so dark. White wine, she makes a mark. White wine.
This is the Food Schmooze Party, offering the richness of life and coming to you in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New York, including Westchester County, the East End of Long Island, the Hamptons, of course. The senior producer is Robin Doyen-Aiken, and to hear this show on Connecticut Public, it airs Thursdays at 3 and 9 and Saturdays at noon. Podcasts and our curated recommendations are always online at foodschmooze.org, as you probably know by now. Here's the deal. We have a box wine to tell you about, and then Craig Floyd is going to join us. You're not going to believe what this man has done. So here's this boxed wine. Now, a lot of boxed wines are not really so fantastic. They're okay. Mm-hmm. This is a delicious one that we have found, and it is called Clos de Lumieres. It is from the Rhone region of France, and we've talked about the red on the show quite a lot. And we've talked about the rosé on the show. This is just released in our region. It is the white wine, 2018. Alex Province, you're the one who discovered this in the first place. And I really like this wine. I've just purchased a whole bunch of boxes because I thought, okay, here's my summer white. This averages out to be, there are 4 bottles in this tiny box, which seems impossible. You think, box. No.
It's magic. It's like one of those clown cars.
It amazes us every time.
There's something going on.
I know. Honestly, it's because the air is out, the glass is gone. 4 bottles really do fit in here. You can do them glass by glass and check if you want. It's 3 liters. And it comes out to around $8.50, $9 a bottle. Mm-hmm. And it lasts in the refrigerator because of the way it's vacuum packed. It lasts for 6 months, 9 months. It's unbelievable. And you just press the little thing on it, and the liquid comes.
This has to be the future
Magic.
of wine. This has to be the way they're going to serve wine from now on, right? It has to be because the glass is getting crazy. The corks are impossible, and this thing just makes so much sense.
Well, if the wine inside is good,
yes,
right?
100%.
I do like this wine. So, Alex, tell us about this Clos de Lumiere white wine.
All the wines you bring on Faith are like made by families, no junk, authentic, real. So the poor wine, when it gets to be put into a bottle, it doesn't know the difference whether or not it's going into this box or not. So it's like so good for the environment. I think we're going to see a shift of more good wines going into boxes.
So
like
what is
we did
this
with Stelvin
wine,
closures. It's a blend of Grenache, the workhorse of the south of France and Spain. It's Grenache Blanc. Bourboulon, which is that champagne that we love. It's that Blanquette grape. And then Viognier, which gives it that smell. So you guys getting all the aromas, like that richness and crispness. And I mean, this is just summer wine, right? This is what's in my refrigerator. I love it.
You could keep 4 boxes in your refrigerator. It wouldn't even take up half the space of 4 bottles of wine.
And that's what makes it so environmentally friendly as well, Faith. You can ship a container so much more economically. So the emissions are half of glass.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then what do you do with the glass? It has to be recycled. This you just collapse, put in your recycle bin, and you're done.
Recycle.
Alex, remember last year I went to a birthday party, and it was a significant party for somebody, and they said, would you bring the wine? And I brought a row of these boxes, set them up on the table so that the spout, the spigot, was hanging over the edge of the table, put the glasses next to it, said to everyone, have at it, and they would just come up to any of the spigots. It was the most, and they kept going,
so much
who brought this? It was fantastic.
You're thinking it's bad wine, but it's the same exact wine that's in the bottle. And you can bring it to like a pool. You can bring it camping. You can bring it on the boat. It's so smart. And you just have to get over the fact it's in a box.
And this wine does come in a bottle. So if you don't believe it, we've done this. Drink it side by side. It's the exact same wine.
Then twice
and how
as
much? Yeah, how much is the bottle? $15.
So the bottle is $15-$16. So the reason why it's cheaper is it's so much more economical for a winery to put it in a box than in a bottle. Bottles are expensive, like you said, Chris. They're expensive to make. They're bad for the environment. Boxes are just so much more economical. There's no way you can get a better glass of white wine for $8.50. You can't find one
so
like that.
$34, $35 a box. You're committing to 4 bottles that will last pretty much.
Yeah, months.
They'd be in a tomb in Egypt. So
you're not carrying the glass home either. So there's no weight.
I love it. I really do. It's good wine.
You can write on the box, too. Say you forgot the card. You just write on the box, "Happy birthday, Mom," and give her the
sounds
glass
like
of
you've
birthday.
done that.
And you say the words, "Here you go."
Speaking from
you
experience.
put a little bow on top.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tie a bow. You don't even have to wrap it. Happy birthday to me.
Online, we tell you who the distributor is. It will make it so much faster for you if you just call ahead to your store. They can't stock everything. Call ahead to your store and say, would you order this for me? And they will go to the distributor that we say on the website. So it's foodschmooze.org. And the distributor, by the way, is Winebow. Love it, Alex. Thank you so much for that.
Glad you like it.
Okay, so I wanted to let you know we have Craig Floyd coming up with an amazing story. But I wanted to let you know first that there is a restaurant on the North Fork of Long Island, and it is called, there's a restaurant in New York City, first of all, and that's the owner who's decided to take advantage of a space. So he owns Peasant and is the chef at Peasant in New York City.
Very cool name.
This is Puglia-style cooking. So he goes out to the North Fork of Long Island, and he sees in Greenport a restaurant, and I don't blame him because I wanted to live in this space. This old wharf straight into the water with this red sort of barn-like building on the land side, and then the wharf, dock goes right straight off of that for boats and stuff. And he takes one look at it and thinks, I'm going to open a restaurant here. And he opened last year. Fantastic. And I was there 1,000 times. I just wrote to him and said, I'm going to jump off the building if you don't open this again. So he is, in fact, his season opens again on May 24th, Barba Bianca, which stands for white beard in Italian. This is Chef DeCarlo. It is so beautiful. He has these black and white striped cushions and tablecloths out straight in the line out the dock. It is one of the most romantic settings you could.
Is the building still red?
Yeah, the building is still red. The bar is the coolest. Nice. The waiters are all these young Italian guys. The food is really good. It's that real Italian stuff. It used to be a kind of ship's chandlery, and you just have got to go. And boats are welcome.
So you can tie right up at the dock?
Yeah.
Time to bring the boat back.
Barba, B-A-R-B-A, Bianca, as in white. White beard, Barba Bianca.
Like a sailor, right?
Well, depending. One half the sailors.
With a pipe out the corner of the mouth.
Yes, the women are all nodding. Thank you.
All right, now I've got to know, because you started talking about Floyd's farm and what he's doing at the farm stand. I got to know, what is he doing?
Yes, this is Craig Floyd. He's had a farm in his family for generations.
We've all got pork there.
North Stonington, pork, chickens, all that stuff. Well, he was doing that, but now Craig Floyd has decided to change his life. He's changed a lot of other lives in the process. Craig Floyd, welcome back to the Food Schmooze Party.
Hello.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Hunky-dory.
Great to hear from you. So would you please tell people how you gave up the product-selling business that you were in before and what you have chosen instead?
Sure. We owned Footsteps Farm, which was Connecticut's first certified humane farm. And then I got hired by the Nature Center after I retired from the Postal Service. Maggie Jones hired me to cut brush. And then it evolved into a garden because we wanted to keep the farm, the Coogan Farm, so we developed a garden. You know, I'm 73, and I believe in putting 100% into what I do, so it was more important for me to feed children than it was to put money in my pocketbook. And, you know, in fact, the last time I was on your show, on the way home, I got a call from Martha Stewart, hence went up to her place and had a good time there. But now what I'm doing is by far more important. You know, there's 23,000 food insecure people in New London County, 40 million in this country, 13 million are children. The food you're eating is absolutely junk food, and we have an opportunity to change that. We also have an opportunity to reduce global warming, save the planet one carrot at a time, and teach people you don't need to have a green thumb in order to be able to grow great food.
What are you doing at the farm to make this happen?
We are a regenerative, no-till, no-spray farm, which means that we actually work with Mother Nature. I learned a long time ago that if Mama's happy, everybody's happy, and that is particularly true when it's Mother Nature. So we build soil the way that she wants us to build it, which means we do it in layers, and we don't use any chemicals or whatsoever in there, and we focus on the microbiology in the soil, which gives us a healthy plant, and then turn around and the healthy plant then becomes compost, which equates to healthy soil. So the bricks quality, the nutritional value of our food is back to pre-1940 levels, because right now, you know, I could hire Tyler Anderson to come in and do a great meal for me and fantastic. But even though it tastes good, doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. So your food has lost 50% of its nutritional quality since 1940, and it loses up to another 30% within 3 days of coming out of the field. We are feeding our children food that is potentially 80% deficient, and I would suggest that God did not intend our bodies to work that way. So we are here to make a huge difference.
What happens to the food you're growing? How much of it are you growing, and who gets it?
100% of what I grow is donated at no charge to the Gemma Moran Food Bank in New London, and in the last 5 years, we've donated 20 tons of food, which equates to about 93,000 meals, which is nowhere near enough, but we're growing in production. Our food actually is picked up on Tuesdays. It goes to a mobile food pantry, which then goes to 10 different locations throughout New London County to help feed the 23,000 food insecure people. There are times that I can get my produce to the customer in 5 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Craig Floyd did a TED Talk, and I couldn't even believe my eyes and ears. Of course, we all know Craig, and we thought of the yes. He would do this, and he has done it. And I'm a huge fan of New London as a community, and I'm so touched by this. I can't tell you. So, Craig, what is next? Do you just does the farm, you have, I don't know how many acres there, does the farm just getting bigger and bigger? What are you going to do?
No, so the Nature Center bought the historic Coogan Farm in 2013. We are actually at 162 Greenmanville Avenue in Mystic. So if you get off on exit 90 on 95, like you're going to go to the Seaport or downtown Mystic or visit one of our many fine restaurants down there, you must go by our farm. We have a big blue tractor in the front yard with orange wheels. This is a 45-acre farm. It was established in the 1650s. It once ran all the way from Mystic to Old Mystic. It was a huge farm. But now we've got the 45 acres left, and it's part of the Denison Pequotsepos Nature Center. And
but, I mean, who's working the land?
Well, I have 370 volunteers. I am extremely blessed to have such good people. They gave me 4,500 hours last year. I have one lady that does 500 hours a year typically. But more importantly, the staff here at the Nature Center, they're behind the scenes. People see my face, but they don't see the face of the people that are really doing all the work. They bring me the volunteers. They bring me the publicity. And together, the entire organization, we're not just about saving salamanders and owls. We're about saving the planet, keeping carbon in the soil, and saving the children at the same time.
Craig, are you giving out recipes along with the food to help people turn the food into nutritious dinners?
Yes, actually we are. One of our volunteers, Cheryl Gennaro, she provides recipes, and we stick them in a baggie on the side of the harvest bucket. And then when it goes to the mobile food pantry, those recipes get handed out. In addition to that, we run regular classes in our classroom here on how to do what it is we do. We get people from all over the world that come to visit or will contact me and ask, how is it you do that? What makes you so different from other people? You really don't need to use a tiller or a plow? We're trying to help the food insecure not only by teaching them, but also providing them with good food, but also teaching people that have a garden. As an example, sir, do you garden?
Yes.
Okay, so then the question is how tall do your tomato plants typically get?
Well, the year we dumped manure, they got huge. We ended up with thousands of pounds, more than we could eat.
You're talking 6 feet tall, 8 feet tall?
They got pretty gigantic.
The potential of a tomato plant is 22 feet tall, 300 pounds, one plant.
Nothing near that tall. Take that back.
No, it's all about the soil and the microbiology in the soil and understanding that. And every home gardener should be using Quantum. Quantum is all microbial, comes from Green Earth Ag and Turf out of Brantford, Connecticut. And 1 gallon will treat an acre. The other thing you need is a good soil test. Typically I ask people all the time, did you take a soil test? No, I didn't take a soil test. Well, how do you know your soil's any good? So there's a lot of things that we teach people here, and how to make teas and how to use seaweed as compost. And you need to come see me and learn how to do this and learn how to feed your grandchildren. Here's the bottom line. In 2014, the United Nations put out a worldwide alert that the current rate of soil degradation, we have 60 years of soil left on the planet. We must change how we farm. And the Nature Center is teaching that. We can save the planet one carrot at a time, but we've got to change how we do it.
And when people are hungry, they're hungry. There are places who say, we have in our supermarket leftover cinnamon buns. Those end up going sometimes to places that serve the hungry. And we're talking here about whole food, a life commitment, fresh food, food that truly feeds a person. And I'm just knocked out by what you're doing. And Craig, I want to say, I'd like to volunteer to do some kind of event or do something for you. Yeah, so here's the offer. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I do appreciate it.
Okay. We love you. Thank you.
Love you too.
That was Craig Floyd of Footsteps Farm in North Stonington, Connecticut. We're on Connecticut Public Radio Thursdays at 3 and 9 and Saturdays at noon. Weekdays, listen for my 60-second food schmoozes and never eat more than you can lift. In New Haven, I'm Faith Middleton. Hey, don't want the party to end? Well, neither do we. Talk with us anytime online at foodschmooze.org.